Hey, I'm Josh with ETV, and I'm here at the Imagine Theater in Eagan. And this is where the Art Block Short Film Festival was supposed to take place. But as you know, 2020 had other plans, so we're moving to a virtual format this year, because we still want to celebrate these 9 amazing short films that are all from local filmmakers. And after the show, stick around, because we're going to hand out some virtual awards and do a live Q&A with some of the filmmakers. So grab your popcorn, get your snacks, sit back and enjoy the show. It's the Art Block Short Film Festival 2020 edition.
Eagan Art House proudly presents the 2020 Art Block Short Film Festival, Virtual Edition. This presentation spotlights local amateur and professional filmmakers. Eagan Art House encourages people of all ages and backgrounds to live creatively through visual arts education, exhibitions, and community engagement. Alouette. And breath entered them. Bathroom break.
Hey, would you mind zipping me up? I can't quite reach.
Oh, of course.
Thanks. Do you think this dress is weird?
Are you kidding? You look amazing.
It's so nice of you. Guess I'm just feeling insecure. Tonight's not been great.
I totally get it, but you can still have a good night.
You know how they say to sing the happy birthday song twice while you're washing your hands?
Yeah.
Well, tonight I've decided to go with Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. Bum bum ba da bum ba da bum bum ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum bum. Bum bum ba Wish I could just stay in here forever.
Oh, okay. Come on. Look, you look incredible. I mean, like, your makeup looks amazing. How long did that take you? Huh? And look at your dress. Did you come all the way out here to wash your hands all night?
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Look, it's like 10:30, okay? You're gonna march back out there, and you're gonna have a good time.
You know what? I do look really nice tonight.
That's right, you do. Now, come on. Those disturbingly clean hands are not gonna sully themselves.
Thank you so much. I actually feel so much better.
For sure. You can't hide in the bathroom the whole night. That would be ridiculous.
Yes. Oh, right. Well, my hands are so wrinkled. I'm Kim, by the way. Kim? I'm Kim.
I'm Mari.
Mari. Okay, well, I'll see you out there, Mari.
Right. I'm gonna go.
Ooh, I like the suspenders.
Thank you.
Can someone turn on the hand dryer? I can't pee in silence.
For God's sake.
I got you.
I'm just waiting for my friend. I'm not in love. Where is Kristen?
I just thought we had something, you know, like, come here. I thought that it was like a thing, you know, that we had.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just not even anything.
What's that?
Is there toilet paper over there?
Can you pass me some toilet paper under the door?
I just don't have any money.
I'm just gonna pass it to the one next door.
Oh, wait, why?
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's just because, you know, germs and bathroom. Yeah.
I wanna tell you that I got love for you, that I got heart for you, that I got soul for you.
Word.
We are the powerful ones.
Word.
We are the powerful ones.
Go
We
ahead.
are the powerful ones.
Go ahead, sis. All right. Bye, y'all.
Hey.
Oh, no, it's a cat with a knife. No. Flower.
Mari? Mari, how long have you been in here? You told me to get back out there hours ago. Have you just been hiding in the bathroom all night?
I'm sorry, Kim. I'm a hypocrite. All that stuff I said to you, I was just trying to convince myself. I'm a coward. Sorry.
Listen, I had an incredible night tonight, and you helped me get there. So here's what I want to know. Did you have fun tonight? Because honestly, this bathroom is hopping.
I guess it has been an amazing night.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, forget what you're supposed to do. Let's do what we want. Okay, so who's ready to get this party started?
All right, let's do it.
All right, party's over. It's closing time. Gotta kick you out. Aww. This life rules are rules. We gotta go. And you know what? This industry, people are so disrespectful, so misogynistic, they're so racist.
So true.
You are just so loving. You're so just giving. You are intelligent, and you're just like, you are so strong. And honestly, this is like a weird flex, but you have fucking awesome cuticles. They are like, I can tell that you like take care of them. Not everybody does that.
Flicker. Hackers, the Misfit superheroes.
Started hacking when I was 15 or 16. I'd actually been homeschooled for about 10 or 11 years, and computers were just sort of my biggest social outlet during that time period. So I actually started learning to program and code, and I even learned machine code before I even started going to school. And then once I did, I actually met people at my own school who were even more interested than I was, and they sort of introduced me to the whole cybersecurity realm as a whole. That's when I started first learning attacks. They were really basic, things like SQL injection and DDoS attacks, which you can actually learn online if you really wanted to. But it was nothing crazy up until my summer before I went off to college. That was where I started learning and meeting people that taught me about more complex strategies and just ways to get into sites that you never could have imagined. And by the time I was in college, I would have been able to hack into any WordPress site that you had given me. So it was a lot of power for an 18-year-old kid. I think one misconception that everyone has is that every hacker has this much power, but from my experience, most hackers don't really care to use it for illegal purposes, or at least not directly illegal purposes. For example, my own code of ethics is basically just to hack into sites that are already conducting illegal activities in the first place. So usually these are sites which can be found on the dark web and things like that, which are facilitating narcotics transactions or human trafficking or something, and all essentially, albeit going over law enforcement's head to take down this illegal site because I don't agree with what it's doing. It's really just any time that I have an opportunity to make the internet a better place for everyone, even if it means racking up a few felony charges, I think I'll take the hit. There was one time when myself and a few of my peers, we were aiming to take down this one site. And it was one of the most disturbing sites I think I've ever seen. It was a site that facilitated human trafficking, but particularly for underage girls, probably from the Philippines. And going into it, we all had different ideas of what the operation would be like, but no one really expected what we actually ended up seeing. And it was a very difficult experience. I know it made a few of the guys on the operation end up quitting the field as a whole, and I definitely considered it. But it's not like we take great pride in just messing with other people's things lawlessly, like a bunch of, Tom Sawyers out there. We carefully decide, we carefully operate, and we're humans. A lot of people are quick to just say that we should be outlaws and we should all be in prison, but you have to consider there was a possibility that you, someone you know, maybe even your children, could have been on a website like that if we hadn't taken it down because the FBI wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, hackers are not bad guys. They're pretty good. They're never out to hurt anybody. Well, most of them aren't out to hurt anybody. I've had to deal with a lot of them being a cybersecurity analyst, and to be honest with you, they're usually out to better the society. I mean, hell, I can't blame them. They're doing my job for me. But but a lot of people just don't. The way I see it in the media never portrays them in the right way. They always make them look like there's some kind of supervillain behind a screen, but I mean, to me, I don't know. I've talked with them, I've dealt with them, I've actually seen them, and they're pretty normal people. I mean, if anything, they should be getting activism awards, to be honest. No one really sees it that way, though.
I would say that hackers take down more illegal websites than the actual FBI does, just from my own observations. And I would have to credit that to the fact that there are so many of us who can do whatever we want, while the FBI is a very inefficient organization. Now, obviously, being a vigilante comes with some negative consequences. For one, everybody hates you. But, I think that it's a really rewarding job, especially because I did actually work as a legal hacker for a while for a cybersecurity company, and it was one of the most boring jobs I think I've ever held. And I've worked at Barnes & Noble, so it's saying a lot. I have never doubted that there's potential for the hacking community to be championed by the general public, but from my own experience, it's never happened. We're a bit like superheroes, because at first no one really understands them. They're sort of alienated from society because of their unique abilities, but once people realize how much they do for them in their daily lives, then everyone wants to be friends with the superhero. So I'd have to say, up until both communities can really understand each other better, hackers are essentially like misfit superheroes.
Hugo.
Once we get a handle on this, once we go through the first burn of COVID-19, that now the lessons learned allow us to handle it on the front ends, and governors are thinking about that, of how we can work together. It's an unprecedented challenge for us, but it's one that I truly believe, and I think I told you earlier that data showed that Minnesotans have risen to the occasion. We'll get through this, and more information will follow up. Thank you, Minnesota.
Will you forgive us? It happened so fast.
If it should be that I grow frail and weak, and pain should keep me from my sleep, then will you do what must be done? For this, the last battle, can't be won. You will be sad, I understand. But don't let grief then stay your hand. For on this day, more than the rest, your love and friendship must stand the test. We've had so many happy years. What is to come can hold no fears. You'd not want me to suffer so. When the time comes, please, let me go. Take me to where my needs they'll tend, and stay with me until the end. Hold me firm and speak to me, until my eyes no longer see. I know in time you will agree, it is a kindness you do for me. Although my tale its last is waved, from the pain and suffering I have been saved. Don't grieve that it must be you who has to decide this thing to do. We've been so close, us four these years. Don't let your heart hold any tears.
Every day you'll be near us, in the imprint you left, in the walls of our house, in the rooms you occupied, through your brother, within us. We will see you again one day.
Humans at Work, Portrait of a Potter.
Deneen pottery is the finest hand-thrown stoneware available in the U.S., maybe in the world. This is the first wheel that I learned to throw on. It was a lot easier when I was 18. Kick wheel.
It never gets old to watch a pot come into being.
Anytime you create something, whether you're knitting or sewing or cooking, you know, there's always satisfaction in creating something that wasn't there before you started.
Because it's transformational, you know? You're
transforming one material into a...
Right, you're part of a process.
Into a shape. She was in the same drawing class I was in.
When I went downstairs and saw the pottery that was being made, and that his pottery in particular was amazing. And I thought, this guy has a skill that's unbelievable.
In the summer of my sophomore year, I went to a summer workshop taught by Marguerite Wildenhain. She was world-renowned potter. When I finished one of the last projects that we did, she told me I could be a potter. And when she gave me that blessing, I just said, well, that's what I'm going to do. This is the pot that I made. I'd only been making pots for about 6 months. Well, it didn't have much of a business plan. We didn't really know where we were going. We rented space in downtown St. Paul in a warehouse. Having to support a family off of it kind of pushed us to expand because I didn't want to do anything else.
What was it like growing up with a family business of a mom and dad that were artists that were making pottery? Ghost came out sort of when careers were being discussed, and I was like, wait, is that what your parents do? So they get all like that? I'm like, no, but oh gosh. I'd have to say it was slightly embarrassing.
As the business grew in the 70s and 80s, we were searching for the right mix to make the business profitable. And we were always undercapitalized, and we were always making stuff that we hoped we could sell in the future.
I knew from a very early age that going into the family business was something that I did not want to do. I saw how fragile it was, I saw how challenging it was, and I also saw how hard my parents worked.
We ended up with a customer that didn't pay us a large sum of money, which forced us into insolvency.
Oh, yeah, 12, 13, going into junior high, thinking about going clothes shopping because school's gonna start, and then having a sit down at the kitchen table. So we don't have a business and we don't have any money.
One of the hardest things about losing the business was having to let all of our employees lose their jobs and their place of work and the identity that they had with that. And that was really difficult to see that happen. Well, I think we became less idealistic in the idea of we're going to train potters and have this apprenticeship program, and we're going to make fine dinnerware, and it's going to be marketed nationally, into something, how can we keep making pottery but make it profitably?
A friend of mine asked me, he's like, who's helping your dad sell those beautiful mugs? I was like, oh, that's his deal. He's like, have you thought about maybe working for your dad? I was like, no, not really. He's like, well, I think you shouldn't be an idiot. You should go work for your dad. Help him take that business somewhere. I came to the realization with my friend's help that that's exactly what I should do, and I haven't looked back since.
We took a chance and started over in 1992. It gave us a chance to get rid of everything that we were doing wrong and refocus on the things that were right. Hugo has been working for us for, I think, 17 or 18 years now. How long have you been working here? 18 years? 20 years. Oh, we can't be that old, are we really?
Just whenever I walk through and see people working, it makes me happy and proud that the place is running and people are coming and going. I just think, wow, we created this and we're keeping it going with Niles.
I think we'll both stay connected for a long time, even though we may not be running it, or...
We won't be running it.
We won't be running it. I've always liked the idea of a family business and passing it on to the second generation.
There's great challenges multi-generational businesses face in the sacrifice that it takes through survival and then through the first stages of growth. There is nothing quite like that. Cheers! I think it's the commitment level that you have when you have to fight that is important.
It's been a life's work from when we started to where we are today.
It's work, and it can be overwhelmingly challenging. And then all of a sudden you just hit a sweet moment where you go like, wow.
Dad's just not afraid. To be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to have a sense of fearlessness, because you kind of end up sort of pointing your ship in a direction that not very many people do, and then you need to make sure that you get to where you're going.
It kind of takes you in a current, and you're riding it, and after this long you realize you're riding it. It's asking of you, and it's giving to you at the same time. And if you hang on, it'll be just as amazingly surprising, sweet as it is challenging.
My normal addiction, addicted to coffee.
My name is Florence. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm 27 years old, and I'm addicted to drinking coffee. I drink coffee on any occasion. When I'm working, when I'm reading, or when I'm staring out the window. Any occasion works perfectly. I've been drinking coffee since I was 7 years old. The last 20 years have been pure bliss. Right as I get out of bed in the morning, the first thing I'm always craving is that first cup of coffee from a French press. Anybody who says anything different about having coffee from a Keurig or from a drip coffee pot is wrong. French press is the best. The only person I've told about my addiction is my cat, Coffee Bean. So that's what you think of me? Yeah, you're concerned? You want me to go to the doctor and see if there's any health issues with drinking 2 cups of coffee a day? Well, fine. I guess I'll do it if you want me to. But I'm only doing this because you've asked. I drink the enormous amount of 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. 1 in the morning, and then maybe 1 when I'm on the way to work, and then that's it. I'm going to the doctor just like you asked. Okay, yes, love you too, Coffee Bean. I can't go anywhere without a cup of coffee.
So, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about?
So I've only ever told one person before, my cat, Coffee Bean, but I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Okay.
I'm addicted to drinking coffee.
You're addicted to drinking coffee, so, I mean, what are we talking about? How many cups of coffee are you drinking a day?
I knew you were gonna ask that. 2 to 3 cups.
Well, Florence, I drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day.
What?
Yeah, this is like my 3rd cup today.
No, if you drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, I'm more worried about you than I am about myself.
Well, how many cups of coffee have you had today?
1!
That's your first cup of coffee today.
No, well, 1.5. half. I had my first cup, my French press. I start all my mornings, and then this one.
Okay, so that's a normal amount of coffee. I've had a cup earlier today, and I'm having this cup of coffee, so...
And then you're probably gonna have some later, I understand, but that you need to get some help.
I don't see what the problem is, it's just coffee. You said you're addicted to coffee, but you're having 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. I think we're all a little addicted to coffee.
Now you're just making it that everybody's addicted to coffee.
Well, who do you know that doesn't drink coffee?
Minimizing it?
I'm not trying to minimize your struggle. I don't see what the issue is.
I have nothing more to say to you.
Okay, well,
I think you should leave now.
sorry I couldn't be more help.
This went a lot
This is
differently
ridiculous.
than I was expecting.
Good luck, Lawrence.
The doctor said I could be drinking between 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day. That's way more than I'm drinking right now. I have no intention of stopping my consumption of coffee. I'm going to continue to drink 2 to 3 cups a day. Bottoms up.
Smartmouth.
Hey. Smartmouth was founded by 4 women who got really irritated with the lack of female-driven comedy in the Twin Cities. First of all, there's not a lot of comedy to begin with if you don't do stand-up and you don't do improv in like 2 specific places.
Comedy is not something that's built for women or queer people, of which I am both. And it's important to have a space in which I can perform, do an art form that's super risky.
A lot of times, I mean, there's like the stereotype that like women aren't funny, which is really frustrating. It's just refreshing because they're not saying like no men whatsoever, but it's like, yes men, but let's prioritize women because their voices haven't been heard as much.
This is not only a place that's allowing women to be in comedy, it's allowing people to create things. It's allowing people to produce their own shows. It's allowing people to try things for the first time.
It's just been very important to me as a queer person and also a gender fluid person that this is a company that lets me do kind of whatever the hell I want.
You can be a director if you want to. You can be a producer if you want to. You can try improv. You can try literally anything. Our company does everything. We've only been around for 3 years, but in the time that we've been around, we've done over 100 performances, and we've put well over 100 women on stage. And part of what we do is cultivating a supportive environment in the rehearsal process that makes its way to the stage that is definitely felt by the audience when they walk into the room. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because everyone in our company has each other's backs. It's something we actually say to each other before we do a performance. We literally take our hands and we put them on each other's backs and we say, I've got your back. And so if anything goes wrong, we all can take care of each other.
But no matter what happens, it's always an adventure and always teaches me something about my own comedy style, about me as a performer, about how to collaborate with other people.
It's like a menagerie of one feeling, and that's when I can just be in the audience and we have, a huge crowd, and I can just watch a primarily female cast deliver funny lines and funny improv, and I can watch as, it's directed by a female and it's got a female stage manager and a female tech, and all of them are feeling empowered and excited. But I think that people really misconstrue our message a lot. We got a lot of feedback when we did the Minnesota Fringe Festival that basically we were giving off the impression that we hate men because we're a female-driven comedy troupe. And my biggest problem with that is twofold. One, we are still a part of an industry that is very male-driven. So we have to work hard to keep our voice and our message powerful. And the other part of that is the sheer fact that we still deal with a lot of men in this industry who are fragile to the idea that women can be powerful in comedy. So when we get this feedback, it's hard for us to not be like, no, we don't hate men. We just don't like people who don't support women in comedy.
Anything that creates laughter is what we do.
Hashtag love wins.
Right. We had been talking about doing a film collaboration for over a year at that point, but all of the people that I knew of that were doing film were trying to do something and they were in it for themselves, whereas I feel that JK is kind of in it for the art and they're in it for the teamwork.
It was house party videos, went from middle school to your mid 40s, and I came in as Shelly, the girlfriend of Drew's character, and I was in post-grad and 40s. So I got to kind of come in at the tail end, which was super interesting to see what everyone was already doing.
I was just a writer, and I wrote the high school sketch, and we got like the prompts, and then we had a meeting about it with the other writers, and we decided what we were gonna do, and we just went our separate ways and did it, and then sent it to one another to like peer review.
It was one of my favorite experiences because it was one of the first times that I ever felt such strong synergy with fellow creators. You know, we all were not just, you know, there weren't just people that were writing, there weren't just people that were acting. Everyone was doing everything. And it just created this sense of power.
Like for female identifying and presenting people, it's so rare to be able to play a character that's gay, queer, questioning, whatever. It's always straight ingenues who, you know, sing a love song about some ferret-faced guy. It's just so validating to get to do something that actually makes sense with who I am, as opposed to trying to pretend to be something else all the time.
It's very difficult to feel like you have to constantly fit into a certain box in order to feel like you actually get to be fulfilled as an artist.
I'm allowed to play characters regardless of gender. I'm allowed to play characters regardless of orientation. I'm allowed to make jokes about pretty much, you know, stuff that if I brought it up in an audition room, like I do a lot of musical theater professionally, and a lot of times I'm having to tone down my whole personality, but if I like brought that up in a musical theater room, it would get shut down. But here, I can kind of be myself, and it's very important to me as a performer. This is my safe space.
Oh, this bottle? This bottle right here? Oh, it's called Gunner Ghost Gin.
It's Bent
how do you say it again?
Mamma Mia. Brew Distillery, I'm sorry.
Can I open it? Okay, I'm gonna open it.
It smells good, actually.
That is straight up drinking Christmas, but fancy Christmas. Like the one where your grandma's also really drunk, but no one knows it yet.
It's just got like the essence of like an old-timey pirate who like killed a lot of people and had like no qualms about it.
It's Navy strength gin. Does that mean I could like be in wars? Gun or ghost? Is that a true story?
Thank you for watching the Art Block Short Film Festival. And thank you to all the talented filmmakers who submitted their work. Film is a powerful medium that has the ability to connect us no matter where we are, from your home or here in this empty movie theater. And stay tuned, because in just a few minutes, we're going to be chatting with some of those filmmakers, right here on ETV.